Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we would like to discuss about network address translation NAT. Here is the learning objective. What is NAT? How NAT work? Types of NAT, advantage, disadvantage, public versus private. What is NAT? NAT is a method used by network devices such as router to translate the IP addresses of device in a private network to a single IP address in order to communicate with the internet. This allows multiple devices to share a single public IP address and access the internet through a single connection. Purpose: to conserve public IP addresses by allowing multiple devices to share a single public IP address. Then, to enhance the network by hiding private IP addresses from external networks. Now, how NAT works. NAT allows devices in a private network to communicate with device on the internet using a single IP address. In NAT, there is two requests. One is outbound request and another one is inbound response. Outbound request: when a device in the private network sends a request to the internet, the NAT device, usually a router, replaces the private IP address with a public IP and assign a unique port number to identify the request. Inbound response: when a response comes back to the internet, the NAT devices maps the public IP and port back to the original IP and forward the response to the correct device in the private network. Here in the picture, you can see that there is three type of IP address assigned: 10.0.0.2 to 10.0.0.5. When these devices, for example, the laptop with IP address 10.0.0.4 wants to access a website such as www.google.com, it sends a request to the NAT enable the router. The router, which has a private IP 10.0.0.1 to communicate the internal device and the public IP 17.4.2.1 to connect the internet. Translate the private IP 10.0.0.4 into the public IP 17.4.2.1 and assign a unique port number, example 5678, to track the connection. At the same time, another device in the network, such as desktop with 10.0.0.3, can also send the request to www.google.com. The router similarly translates its private IP into the same public IP 17.4.2.1 but assigns a different port number, example 5679. To distinguish between the two connections, when response from google.com are received, the router uses this unique port number to map the public IP and port back to the original private IP 10.0.0.4 and the 10.0.0.3 and forward the response to the correct devices. This process allows multiple devices in the private network to share a single public IP while ensuring the correct delivery of response as shown in the picture. Then types of NAT. We already know that there is three types of NAT: static NAT, dynamic NAT, port address translation PAT. Static NAT. Static NAT enables a one-to-one mapping between a private IP address and a specific public IP address, ensuring that the private device always uses the same public IP for internet communication. For example, a private IP like 192.168.1.10 will always map to a public IP like 203.0.113.1010. Dynamic NAT. Dynamic NAT uses a pool of public IP address to temporarily assign a public IP, a private device when it needs to access the internet. Once the connection is terminated, the public IP is returned to the pool and becomes available for the other users. This method is ideal for networks with more private devices than available public IPs. NAT with port address translation PAT. PAT, also known as overloading, enables multiple private devices to share a single public IP addresses by assigning unique port numbers to each connection. The NAT devices uses these port numbers to track connections and ensure responses are sent to the correct private device. Then advantage of NAT. Enhanced security through IP masking. NAT hides internal IP addresses, making it difficult for external attacks to target a specific device within a private network. Number two, reduce risk of IP address exhaustion. By allowing multiple devices to share a single public IP address, NAT helps conserve the limited pool of available IP addresses. Simplified network management. NAT can simplify network management by enabling easier configuration of routing and addressing without needing to change the internal IP addresses. Then comes on disadvantages of NAT. NAT increase network complexity by translating IP addresses and port numbers. Limited connectivity. Some devices and applications may face connectivity issues due to protocol limitation. Reduced security. Incorrect configuration or outdated NAT can introduce security vulnerabilities. Reduced performance. NAT can impact the performance of certain applications and protocols due to translation overhead. Then public versus private. Public, required by devices and hosts that connect directly to the internet, must be globally unique, routable on the internet, must be assigned by a IANA or RIR. Private, not roundable on the internet. IPs like 10.0.0.0 CIDR notation 8, 172.16.0.0 CIDR notation 12, and 192.168.0.0 CIDR notation 16 can be assigned locally by an organization, must be translated to access the internet. Then the last part is conclusion, significance of NAT. NAT is a fundamental technology that has enabled the growth and scalability of modern networks by addressing the challenges of IPv4 address exhaustion. Role in modern networks. NAT continues to be an essential component in various network environments, from home and office network to cloud and IoT deployments. That's all for today. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any question, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.